So when you're talking about conversions and clicks, like what you want them to do and what the goal of a landing page, remember I talked about before, it's to get a click, it's to get a referral, any of those things. How do colors come into play? And so I've read a ton of articles about, well, maybe a blue button works, or, you know, orange links convert better than blue links and all this stuff. And you can go the whole way through all these articles, and at the end they're like, well, we don't really know, right? And so there was a blog post and a video on socialtriggers.com by this guy, Derek Halpern, and he's the one who introduced me to passive and action colors. Derek's also a young guy, but he's learned a lot from these old school direct marketing guys. And so he talks about the von Restorff effect. And he said there was a psychiatrist named von Restorff that studied what's known as the von Restorff effect, also called the isolation effect. It predicts that an item that stands out like a sore thumb is more likely to be remembered than other items. So Derek talks about what stands out gets remembered, what blends in gets ignored. So you want to pick one action color that all the links on your page have, or one action color that your call to action is, and do not use that color anywhere else on your landing page. And Derek said the biggest mistake is sometimes people have a green button like this. And so imagine if there was a green subheader down at the bottom, or there was a green image or a green something else, then it starts to confuse the viewer as to what is an action color and what is a passive color. So in GroupMe, they've used green and only used green for that call to action. Now, there's another call to action up at the top right-hand corner, log in. Maybe they could have made that green, but they chose to say, look, the only color green is going to be the only color of what we actually want them to do on the call to action. So it's very effective. If you look at harvest, the orange is a little bit bright. It's not as a passive a color as I would have used, but if you can see plans and pricing, that's green, and they don't use green anywhere else. Except for I just noticed down at Harvest to Go, there's a little green arrow down there. Now, that may be another call to action that they want to use, but you can see green only means click. Green only means go and do something. So you can see here, Kissmetrics, I think this is a lot better example. So you can see get me started with Kissmetrics down at the bottom, and then start your free trial. They don't use that color green. They do not use that color green anywhere else on the page. It's very effective. And it is very, you can see that the passive colors, they use a lot of purple and dark colors, but really only use green for those action colors. So work smarter, best vendor. You can see sign up to see what others use. That's the yellow button. You can see there, sign up. And then you can also see sign up on the top right. Now, one thing I did notice is if you look at the right-hand side where it says manage your finances, improve your design, win more customers, that yellow is a little bit too close to the call to action color. So I probably would have made that another color. So you have to be really careful. And sometimes the designer, whoever's designing your landing page, may think you're overreacting. But if you can be very specific and only use that color for actions that you want them to take only, then that is the best way to approach call to action and colors. And so if you look at Chargeify, this one is very obvious. It's a giant red button. Now, there is one place that they go wrong. If you look at some of the links are green, but they also use green in the subheader. I probably wouldn't do that. If you look also, green is the color of the tab at the top. So they're kind of mixing link colors with passive, action colors with passive colors, and that's not as effective. Fortunately, they have that big red button, so I think it kind of overrides all that kind of stuff, but they may want to watch using green for links and also for other design elements. Contextually, very good. They use a green button. They don't use it anywhere else. A little bit of a green button in the image that they're showing there, but I think that's okay. But they're using green only for that call to action, and it looks like they're using blue only for text links. Very effective. You can see customer.io. They use a pink button. Nowhere else do they use pink. So again, they're using the von Restorff effect. That pink button is going to get remembered because it stands out. Now let's go apply passive and action colors.